Huh.
Huh.
Hey, what is up, guys? This is the Beyblade Sports channel, and guys, today we are going to have a Beyblade discussion. So we have with us three special guests, including myself. So first we welcome Vedant, then we welcome Aryan, and we welcome Snidmist. So Vedant is the top blader from Mumbai. Aryan is the same, and Snidmist is off the charts. Okay, guys. So in this video, we're going to answer some of your questions. Maybe even if you don't have some questions, we are going to still try and answer them. So yes, guys. Let's begin. अभी ये देखिए नया कुछ बेब्लेड वर्स्ट आ रहा है ना, वो क्या है? वो बेब्लेड स्पार्किंग है कि बेब्लेड सुपर किंग है? क्या है वो?
Super King. Beyblade, it's like called both. You can call it both. Initially, it was called Beyblade Burst Season 5 because there was no particular name for it. Then people started calling it officially Beyblade Sparking and then Super King. So Sparking actually is said because the launcher of this series has a specific gimmick where when you pull the string, there are sparks created inside the launcher. So and you can see the sparks actually. Therefore, it's called Beyblade Sparking. That's the only reason for that till now.
Okay, so is there an official name like Super King or
Yeah,
Sparking?
it's
What is the
Beyblade
official
was
name?
Super King.
Then how did this rumor come about? How did this rumor come about? Sparking. Why did the spark word even come?
Yeah, that's what I said. The launcher in this Beyblades actually, when you launch the string launcher specifically, they have this gimmick when you pull the string, there are sparks created on the top of the launcher. There is a plastic kind of casing inside which there are sparks created. So therefore, the sparking thing, the name.
Okay.
Okay, and
ठीक
Takaradomi
है.
has also included that name in their series too. So it's not like a rumor; it's there. But if you go on Google and or Wikipedia or any Beyblade Wikipedia, it would be Beyblade Burst Super King, like that.
Super King. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now can you tell something to bladers who are just getting into Beyblade Burst? Like if they want to battle competitively, what should they purchase? What should they buy
Yes.
if
So
they are
if you
first
want, yeah, you
getting?
can. Yeah, if they want to battle competitively, then there are many great options rather than just spending on Beyblade which they like. So when you go for a competitive scene of Beyblade, you always decide to buy Beyblades which are competitive and not just good for looks. So in this situation, you have to first decide what is your battle style, such as what is your primary focus. For example, Aryan here has a good attack type use, so therefore, if you are a attack type user, you need to focus on attack type base which are meta during that time. For example, right now, Zoe Longinus in Beyblade Burst GT is really strong, the layer itself, because it provides great upper attack and smash attack. So like that, you have to decide. If you are a defensive type Beyblade or stamina type blader, you can go for Spriggan and all. But then when you go for Spriggan, for example, the GT Spriggan, it costs a bit because it comes only in the GT customized set. Oh, sorry, it's a triple booster set, GT triple booster set, which is approximately 3K if you go for Indian prices, and therefore it becomes expensive like that. So buying the GT customized set or any customized set of the particular generation, for example, God customized set was a set of 4 Beyblades in which you got atomic and bearing, which was really good for competitive use. In GT also it's the same. You get electrical driver and then Regalia Genesis and other Beyblades too. So that's like a good thing to have, and it's approximately 4,000 rupees to start with the Beyblade Burst series, and therefore you can then slowly pick up each Beyblade as the releases go on. Because every month Takaradomi would release at least one Beyblade minimum and three or maybe four also to max. So that's about it. You can spend, to summarize the answer, the best thing is you can spend for the GT customized sets or any customized set or the triple booster sets of that particular generation. That's it.
Uh, okay, interesting. Okay, my last question.
Yes.
Uh, where can I buy the cheapest burst Beyblades? I mean, if I'm trying to buy online, what should I look for?
When you
Except
are
global
buying,
store.
okay, yeah. I couldn't hear the last part. What did you ask?
Except for my local store, if I have to purchase a Beyblade online, where should I go?
See, when you want to go for Beyblades online, you can go for Yahoo Japan auctions. It's like a auction site. It's not just for Beyblade. It is for many other users too. Like any things which can be auctionable or biddable, those are available on the site. So there you need to have knowledge about how to search a particular Beyblade. It's not like Amazon where you just go and click and buy, and they would do the rest. All the things such as domestic shipping, international shipping, you have to take care of. So that's like a risky thing where many YouTubers actually have created tutorials for using Yahoo Japan auction. And if someone wants, you can definitely learn that. That's the primary option. The second option, which is quite reliable, is Hobby Link Japan. It's like a website same as Yahoo Japan auction, but it's more customer friendly because it's very close to Amazon, where you just need to click and buy from this site and they would just ship you. The only issue is if you buy a lot more from this site, they declare the original value, because of which you might get into trouble with customs. It is a might situation because in India we don't have proper like laws. It always goes on luck based things. So if you are lucky, you would just be escaped from the custom duty, or else you would have to get charged for the custom duty. So that's like pretty much it. And the last option which you can rely on is sellers which sell Beyblades in India, who import and then sell. So that's like a pretty much good option because all sellers, like most of the Indian sellers, have one source in common, which is Yahoo Japan. So that pretty
Hmm.
much sums up
And
it.
Mary, you also were selling some Beyblades, right? You also are selling some Beyblades, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
can you
I'm
tell
selling
me
it now
something about
also.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah, can you
see,
tell
like
us something about that?
approximately 1.5 year back, I started this selling perspective because I came to know about Yahoo Japan auction. So I started searching on it and I started buying in bulk. So when you buy in bulk from Yahoo Japan auction, you get the advantage of giving discounts to people when in comparison to if they buy one single Beyblade from Yahoo Japan auction. Because if I buy in bulk, the domestic shipping and the international shipping for each parcel or each Beyblade would be clubbed, and therefore it would get split among those Beyblades in one parcel. That would be much easier for me, and then I would be able to give discounts. And the bare minimum thing which I charge, or you can say the profit which I get, is the service fee for all the things which I do, such as calculating the domestic shipping, planning the parcels, bearing the custom duties sometimes, or even tackling that. I've even gone to the custom duty office also 2 times. So there are various things. So that's the basic thing which I charge. But I definitely guarantee you that if you go and buy on Yahoo Japan auction yourself, it would be definitely more. The price would be more compared to my prices. So that's like a plus advantage for you.
Hmm. Okay, thanks a lot, Mira. I think this would really help our viewers.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else?
Hmm. Vedant, you can.
Vedant, you can start.
Okay, my first question is, any tips for beginner, like how they can improve themselves in this lockdown time and how they can make their own combos?
Okay, so if you are a beginner and you have certain parts, such as let's say you have an extreme driver, stays in the center, and then use Legend Spriggan as a attacking Beyblade to try to practice your flower patterns to hit the Beyblade which is in the center, which would definitely increase your attack type skills. And rest all because attack type is the only skill which needs much practice in Beyblade Burst. In any Beyblade generation actually, because attack types are very hard to handle. They get self-KO'd many times, and that's like pretty much it. In defense types, it's not much. Like in Beyblade Burst only, you need to just think about the perspective that your Beyblade can burst due to the recoil, which was not actually in MFB and plastic generations. Your Beyblade didn't separate into three parts during a battle. And even if it did, at that time it was like, टूट गया मेरा Beyblade. now it's not like that. So now you have that added perspective of bursting. So in defense types, that's the only thing which you need to take care about, which is, if you sum up in one word, it is spin control, where you need to analyze what speed your opponent would launch at and then tackle it with your Beyblade. But the most important skill is attack types, where you can launch a steady Beyblade in the center and use attack type Beyblade to practice your flower patterns. So that's about it.
Okay, before y'all carry on, I just have one question before I forget.
Yeah, sure.
So Beyblade burst. When will Beyblade burst? When will Takara Tomy release Beyblade burst in India? The new releases of the Beyblade tops.
I really don't have. Yeah. I don't have any clue actually about that, because we as Beybladers or even as YouTubers never got any contact from Fun School. I had tried to mail Fun School 2-3 times, but they are very unresponsive. Like, so maybe someday someone can do it, and therefore we would have a link between Fun School helping us to get Beyblades from Takara Tomy.
Okay, so till now we have no news at all, right? No news.
Yeah, no news at all. It's quite dull right now. The God series had been released. Few of the Beyblades got released, but later on it's quite dull now. Yeah.
Okay, was it quite dull? Maybe during the Metal Fight Beyblade season.
No,
also?
during the Metal Fight Beyblades, it was actually in the Metal Fight Beyblades it was quite good, because even the spark effects Beyblades, if I'm not wrong, for the word, right? It's called spark effects, right? A very proper time, and the Hindi dubbing was also very good at that time. Nowadays, when you see Beyblade Burst in Hindi, it's very crappy, because the actors, the Hindi dub doesn't have any force or any excitement in them. It is very dull. The main protagonist also has no enthusiasm in it when you see the Hindi dub compared to the English ones. So that's like a major cause actually. And then the second cause is Fun School is also not taking any advice from the people who are doing it. I doubt Fun School even knows that there are people who are importing Beyblades from Japan to sell them here.
The second question is, which is your favorite YouTuber and why?
Which is my favorite YouTuber? It's myself. No. Just kidding. My favorite. my favorite YouTuber. No, it's not Beyblade Geeks. Definitely, I do like them. I do admire them also. No, my favorite YouTuber for Beyblade is definitely Mac the Burst, because he's he's in Philippines. He lives in Philippines, and he actually travels to Japan sometimes to get the new releases. He also hosts tournaments in Philippines, and he also started from scratch with no support actually. So, and his main Beyblade content is on competitive use of Beyblades rather than just unboxing. So that's very cool about it. That's why Mac the Burst.
Mm-hmm. How many subscribers does he have?
It's 7,000 plus something.
Good enough.
Next question, Vedant.
Done with my questions.
Done.
My question is, what is the Tomodachi Club?
Okay, so Tomodachi Club is basically a idea where you can say we would directly compare ourselves to Mumbai Indians of Beyblade Burst directly, or Beyblade you can say, in Mumbai. So obviously Mumbai Indians. So it's like a club where we would focus on Mumbai members and not generally target the entire India for doing anything, because Beyblade as such is a very delicate sport actually, I would say, because I'm using the word delicate because people don't pay attention to Beyblade much. Even parents are not very positive about Beyblade, but the trend is actually changing, because when I hosted the first event of Tomodachi, I had people who had come and I talked to their parents and they were very happy about it that कोई तो host कर रहा है इतना trouble लेके तो it's a big deal. So there is a change and there is a positive change. Therefore, I am targeting the people who I can physically meet. That is in Mumbai. In Mumbai I can travel anywhere and host tournaments. Therefore, it's very accessible for me. Therefore, to host such events, I have created this Tomodachi club with my friends. So that's like a basic thing for Tomodachi because Tomodachi itself means friends, and that's the only reason we have established it to develop a proper community with the people whom you can physically meet and play in your day-to-day lives for Beyblade.
Okay. So you called
Okay,
Beyblade
so
a sport. So do you consider Beyblade sport?
Yes, I do definitely consider Beyblade a sport because, like all sports, for example, cricket, badminton, table tennis, you can take cricket, you had to invest your money for a bat, then pads, gloves. Like the same thing in Beyblade, you have to invest money for your stadium, your parts which are competitive. You need to have many copies of that parts. Similarly, in badminton, if you see, you need to invest on your racket. Then if your racket breaks or has some issues, the netting also has some issues, so you have to change the net. You have to change the grip regularly because you sweat while playing. So these are the basic investments which you do in a sport, and Beyblade is no different because in Beyblade also you have to do certain investments. I have seen many people say that Beyblade is very expensive. The only thing is that all the sports are expensive, and the expensive things only become evident when you try to run behind each and everything in that sport. If you have a selective approach for buying, it won't be expensive, and therefore you would be in a budget section where you can play also, have fun also, and participate competitively. I was saying, I had asked a fun school store that how many Beyblades do you sell? So he had told me that approximately 500 Spriggans had got sold from his store. So if you consider 500 Spriggans, even if there are 500, we can say 500 bladers in Mumbai, where are these bladers and what are these bladers doing? So basically, if we think about the world, or you can say just about India, it's like a very later on perspective. Right now, if we can channelize our energy to gather the Mumbai people and bring the sport alive in Mumbai, it would be a great first step towards the contribution to develop Beyblade in India. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Where do you see Tomodachi Club in 5 years?
Tomodachi Club in 5 years. So the first event was of 15 people. I remember that because that was the first event and it was really good. The second event was of 12 people because some of them had exams and all. So in 5 years, approximately, I think I should be able to gather all the Mumbai members who are into Beyblade for holding a huge Beyblade tournament in Mumbai, somewhere in Mumbai, definitely. Right now, we use a park actually, which is very good. It's named as Matoshri Minatai Park, and later on, definitely a huge hall for Beyblade where everyone would recognize the sport clearly. Even at Mumbai level, it would be a great achievement for all the players who are still there. Because I've seen many people, they don't talk about Beyblade also because of the thing that people would not accept it, or maybe people would say कि क्या कर रहा है, क्या है Beyblade, क्या है, बच्चों का चीज है. So it's not बच्चों का चीज करके, ऐसे तो हर चीज देखा जाए तो बच्चों का ही चीज है फिर. It's up to us how we take it and how we try to implement it and how dedicated or serious we are. In my previous videos also, when I used to do videos on my channel, I never said that कि सब कुछ छोड़ दो, like पढ़ाई छोड़ दो, बाकी sports छोड़ दो और Beyblade खेलते रहो. Never, I have never said that. I always tell them studying is important because it's their parents have put like they have given birth to us, and it's our duty actually to study well, then later on support them. But if Beyblade somewhere is your passion, definitely target it and channelize it. So that's like the best thing which you can do. Anything which is your passion. If it's Beyblade, then very well, great. Continue.
Okay. Other thing is, do you intend on adding more games to the Tomodachi Club?
Yes, I do intend on adding games such as Vanguard, then Yu-Gi-Oh, and I do have a plan to introduce Shogi also in Tomodachi Club. It's like a Japanese version of chess, you can say.
Hmm.
Not exactly, because I haven't read about it or even played it once. I have just seen it in some animes, but I'm very fond of it. So I think of adding such games because when you go for Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard, and then Shogi also, as I said, it would target a much elder audience also, such as the teenagers or even the adult group also. You can say 30 plus, 40 plus, because I have seen in Japan many tournaments of Yu-Gi-Oh, then this Shogi also, then even Vanguard happen, and there are many elders also who participate. So that's like a thing which I would love to see in India too.
Okay, so I'm done with the questions. Does anybody else want to ask any?
Do you think the Beyblade bar will come in India?
Beyblade?
Bar.
Bar.
यार क्या? वो
Bahar?
Yeah. There's one in Japan. Yeah.
Bahar?
Get here.
There's one in Japan.
अच्छा बाहर ओह yes yes okay मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता मैं उधर ही चला गया हाँ I don't
What?
know about that. It's definitely depending on the people here. If someone takes the initiative to go that further, for example, I have met a member in Mumbai whose name is Neil, and he has a dream to open up a shop where people can play on PCs, PlayStations, play on like he would keep stadiums and all for Beyblade, etc. Such as things. So if a person comes who decides to make a bar which is for Beyblade, or even we can say anime related to anime concept bar, it would be great, and we would love to do it. But then I don't know if permissions would be granted in India about that,
Okay.
because in India
Why do you
major
think?
things happen with
What?
permissions, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Why do you think? Next question. Yeah, next question. Why do you think the WBO failed in India? The WBO
WBO
tournaments failed in India.
actually see WBO is a very good organization. Like I really like their concept and their panel also, because they have a very professional approach to Beyblade. The only thing they failed in India was due to the fees. The fees which they charge is actually quite affordable compare, like if you compare the rest of the world. But in India, when you have to pay something for a thing which you basically don't like, according to your parents, where your parents would obviously fund you, unlike the other countries. There are many countries where children start earning from the age of 16 and 17, but in India it's not the case. So your parents are going to fund you, and to pay for something which is just a basic spinning top game in the eyes of parents was a big issue for WBO to not be a success in India. And the second reason I feel is the hosting perspective. Like for example, when a host targets like starts a tournament or event, he has to plan for at least 1 month and advertise it so that he gets members, not just immediate like put a ad today, a request to WBO, because they were very professional about it. I had seen it. We had to request WBO with an official mail and all. Then they would accept it, and then they would have our tournament. So doing that a 1 month prior would be very good. Then to advertise it, which I never saw actually. So that's like a concerning thing which had been going on. But rest of things were mostly the fees actually. I would say that was a big issue.
So if
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
pretty much.
keep fees, if you have to keep fees in India for Beyblade tournaments, like it might not succeed, right? Probably.
No, actually, that's not the thing. I would like to add on here that we we can keep peace if we can glamorize Beyblade that much. If you know what I'm saying. If you can glamorize Beyblade, such as expensive things such as the badges, cards, gift cards, coupons, then you can say free stuff which is actually not free, but you can develop a sphere of manipulation around it and to what they are paying. So that's
Okay, so something else about the Tomodachi Club. So I just heard that you're planning to advertise the Tomodachi Club by putting up some banners, flyers, or some cards and some kind of stuff. What is that all about?
Yes, so the first idea actually it was from Aryan only. So the idea was to make cards. For example, you can say where you see right business cards. So like that, we had decided to make cards for Tomodachi Club, and then for flyers, the decision was that we would create a flyer which wrote about the Tomodachi Club and different games which it would have in future and it has now. And then instead of giving it on the roads, which can be a big issue because BMC is a thing in India and they would be really troublesome. So we had decided to go to Fun School and then give them the flyers so that they would distribute it to the customers which come at their store one by one. And if they want any basic charge for it, we were like I was ready to give it. So that was the whole thing. Banners is a very big issue because you cannot just go on and put a banner somewhere in Mumbai. They would just if by any chance BMC people see it, there would be a big issue about that. So banners is not a question right now. That requires permission.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any more
Anyone else?
questions?
I have one question.
na?
How can people stay safe from scammers?
See, the first thing which you can do is just focus on your local stores and get the Beyblades which are available in the local store. Secondly, you can get Beyblades from reputed people who have at least some recognition for many years, or they have something building up. For example, we would just take my example. I'm not boasting here, but if we take my example, I have a channel for 2 years now. People know me, and you can definitely trust that there won't be a situation where you would pay me 2,000 or 3,000 rupees and I would just run with your money somewhere and hide. So that's not possible because I have put efforts in my channel. I have developed even if a small name, it's quite good for me and I need to improve it a lot. So if you can trust people like this who have a background history with them, it would be good for you. Even though if they charge a bit high, for example, 50 to 100 rupees high, it would be beneficial to you rather than losing the entire sum of money. Yeah, that's it.
What is about this Hasbro Beyblade Hyperspheres? What is all that about?
Hypersphere?
The Hypersphere Beyblades actually are designed for a specific stadium from Hasbro, which is known as the Hypersphere Stadium, and their performance tips is a MFB word, so no wrong. Their drivers, which are in these Beyblades, are compatible with that Hypersphere Stadium, where they can actually, when you launch them, they can spin off and reach to the get on top of a edge around the stadium and then you can even stay there. So that's like a specific gimmick which they have. I don't have the full details, but these are the basic things which this Hypersphere Stadium can provide you.
Is it like the destroyed room from MFV?
Yeah, you can say that. The Beyblades have that specific thing where the drivers itself are made for the stadium, and the driver would perform in such a way due to the curves of the stadium that it can bounce off any curve and get to the ridge, then again slide down the ridge and hit the opposition Beyblade like that.
Okay.
Something like Bay Wheels? Is it something
No.
like Bay Wheels?
No. Babies is not a discussion topic.
Hasbro के पास कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है क्या ये सब करने को? ऐसा normal Beyblade release करने का ना?
They have released normal Beyblades. It's just that in the anime, they have such kind of stadium, I believe. You're watching the anime, right?
No.
हाँ.
So you would
Is it?
eventually hit that stadium someday in the anime.
Acha, kya pata.
Because
And
I
why is
haven't.
Hasbro making Beyblade Burst with so many different weird colors?
They have always been doing their own thing to be different than Takara Tomy. It's not a new thing. They have always released exclusives also. What was Spark FX then in MFB?
Except the
Phantom
Spark
Orion was
effects.
so different in color. The bearing
Yeah,
also was not good, right? In the Phantom Orion.
yeah. And they look so weird and dirty, the base.
They use
Like
They have
very dark.
disgusting.
been doing it. The thing is that they are consistent in some countries of US, so people do like them, and it's better to have something rather than have nothing. Like in our case, so that's like the big thing
Hmm.
where they excel in some countries.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this all helped. And if you have some more questions, then please do ask them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer them in the next video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and thanks to our special guests Snidmist, Aryan, and Vedant for being on show. So yeah, guys, see you in the next video.